Okay, boxing fans, right now I'm going to talk to you about Tyson Fury versus Steve Cunningham. This is my prediction, and this is Fury's American debut. Now, some people love this fight, and let me tell you, some people do not like this fight. They may even hate this fight. And me, I lean more towards I don't like this fight. It's not going to be competitive in my opinion. Fury is 20-0, undefeated record with 14 knockouts. Cunningham is 25 wins, 12 of which by way of knockouts, to 5 big defeats, none of which by way of knockout is worth pointing out. Looking at Fury, he has said that nobody in America wanted to fight him, and now that the only guy who wanted to fight him was this chinny former cruiserweight, and that's the only guy he could get. Cunningham looking miffed, at the mouth of Fury and what he's been saying. I said he's been in harder fights, and he will beat and school Tyson Fury and show him he's just a hype job. Let's look at the attributes. And I mean, I'm not a big Tyson Fury fan, but this will show how one-sided this fight is going to be, in my opinion. Looking at the power, who has got the power? We know it's Tyson Fury. He's a natural heavyweight giant, weighing around 240 pounds. 240 pounds. Standing around 6'9", and he's got a massive 35 pounds more weight than Steve Cunningham has. And he's getting in better shape now, so it's not fat that he cannot use. It's actually good muscle. He's the only heavyweight today that really does throw combinations, and he does have a mean body shot, does Tyson Fury. If you look at his last fight, people will look at that and say he's not actually got that good power. And I do not, class Fury as a concussive puncher, but he does get the stoppages. In his last fight, however, he didn't get any stoppage. He didn't look like he was going to get a stoppage because he didn't set his feet. He was moving a lot. He just shown a lot of movement, jabbing away at Kingpin. It wasn't a good fight for the fans to watch. He said he was going to go in there and fight him. He didn't. But he did pretty much whitewash Kingpin on the scorecards. And I do like Kingpin when he comes and actually fights properly. However, Kingpin was pretty much reserved to lose that fight from the opening bell, in my opinion. However, in this fight, I expect him to, pretty much attempt to walk Cunningham down. Let's look at Steve's, power. I've got to say this, he was never a huge puncher in the cruiserweight division. He just wasn't. Since then, he's had 2 fights at heavyweight, in which, honestly, I think his power has further deteriorated. I'll give you some evidence, okay? I'm not just dissing the guy. Like I said, I like Steve Cunningham. I'm not dissing the guy for no reason. He did fight a guy called Jason Gavin, right? He took in the distance. Let's look deeper, Before he fought Cunningham, Gavin, right? He got knocked out twice by guys that rate worse than Steve Cunningham, Marius Wach, and who was the other guy? Ustinov, right? And since then, he's been knocked out 3 times, including a round 1 knockout by Amir Mansour in his last fight. Okay, which I think was last week, last week. So, moving on from the power, let's look at the speed. Steve Cunningham, I think, does have speed. This is where he will be. This would be his best chance of winning the fight. He is a cruiserweight coming up. He should bring speed to the table. However, if the extra weight does not help Steve Cunningham in his advancing old age, it could cause him to slow down, which would be awful for his chances of winning this fight. But I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt and say that he's going to bring speed in terms of movement and hand speed to this fight over Fury. However, Fury is no slouch, guys. He's a bit like Peter Crouch, I think. He does surprise you with some of his footwork. He's got good foot speed. He's also got good hand speed, like I said. He likes to throw quick combos to both head and body. And if Steve's not ready for that and doesn't see them coming, it could be all over from a body shot. Honestly, it could be. Let's look at the boxing ability. I honestly think that Steve, if you take away height and reach from Fury, is a better boxer than Tyson Fury. Honestly, I think he's a much better boxer. However, the problem is there is height and reach in this fight, and Steve's got to conquer that. Now the question is, can he get underneath the jab? Can he fire over top, and catch Fury? Or can he come in underneath the jab and work the body of Fury? Can he be in and out, making Fury look slow and put on a masterclass in terms of boxing? Now, he could do, but it's easier said than done. Moving on and looking at the chin, and we're going to look at the chin of Tyson Fury, I've got to say it's much better than the chin of Steve Cunningham. Let's be honest, he's got a good chin as Fury. He's taking shots from McDermott, who's not a bad puncher. Chisora, he took punches from him, and Rogan, he took punches from him. Granted, though, none of those guys are world level operators, and he's never took a shot from a world level operator. But I'm going to point this out: at heavyweight, Steve Cunningham is not a world level operator. He's not a world level puncher. It's not going to change in this fight. At the end of it, we're still going to look at Fury and say he's not took a punch from a world level operator. Steve cannot punch, in my opinion. Looking at Fury, he's got nothing to be afraid of in terms of Cunningham's power. He should just be able to walk straight through his shots. Now let's look at Steve Cunningham's chin. Now we know he was chinny at cruiserweight. Every time he faced a world level operator, he got dropped multiple times. Okay? So far, however, as a heavyweight, he has not been dropped. However, he didn't look comfortable with Adam X Power in the last fight. I'm just going to throw it out there, but he did win the fight. I'm pointing it out. He did win the fight. I'm being fair. Okay? Now, he is fighting someone, like I said, who is, much bigger than him. He's naturally bigger and stronger, and this guy's got a 70% KO ratio. Steve could be hitting the deck multiple times in this fight. So I'm just going to go straight into how I predict this fight going. My prediction is basically Fury will win this fight by a late knockout. The reasons that I'm going to include, Steve, will get peppered with the jab. I think he'll get walked down and onto some big shots, and then it's just going to be too much of a big problem for Steve Cunningham to solve at this late stage in his career. He's being used basically as an opponent to make Fury look good on his American debut. Basically, a guy who's going to come, try and win, but get bowled over a few times and probably stopped. However, I will say this: if Tyson Fury does not stop Steve Cunningham, in my opinion, it is not good enough. He has to win by knockout to impress me in this fight, because he holds almost every attribute under the sun over Steve Cunningham.